We are meeting today the famous moderator and journalist Edmundas Jakilaitis, who is taking part at many supportive actions for Ukraine. And Edmundas, please tell us about your projects.
Well, many people in Lithuania do something to support Ukraine. From the very beginning of war in 2014, probably, we started doing something which is possible to do for Ukraine. But we created the organization called Strong Together. We created it during the COVID pandemic just to try to help the elder people and sick people who were locked at home. And actually, before the war started, like 2 weeks before the war, we just had a debate with our friends. What should we do when the war starts? And actually, we've been thinking, if there will be a war, there will be many, many refugees to Lithuania from Ukraine. And actually, we decided to create a system which would allow people in Lithuania to share their houses, their apartments, their rooms with the refugees from Ukraine. And the main idea was to treat Ukrainians as brothers and sisters, because when your relatives get in a trouble, you wouldn't suggest your relative to live in the station or in a gym. You would invite your relative to live in your house. So that was the main idea, and we created the platform where Lithuanian people could share the data about the rooms available or apartments or houses, and we managed to accommodate 50,000 people in Lithuania only through our organization. We collected 15,000 units of real estate all over the country. So it was like a miracle for us, because we didn't expect that to happen. And actually, it's a unique project all over, because as you know, no Ukrainian refugee ever lived in some public building. All the people who came to Lithuania, they were accommodated in houses, apartments, rooms of regular people. So that makes us probably unique.
Please tell us about the action Radarom. You are taking part together with Blue, Yellow and LRT.
Yeah, that was one of the ideas which came much later. We made a lot of different campaigns. We do initiative Children of Freedom, where we bring children of killed Ukrainian servicemen to Lithuania for summer camps. So every year we bring like 500 children whose parents have been killed during the war to Lithuania. So we do it 3 years in a row. We also had an initiative called Warm Up Ukraine, where we collected 1,000 diesel generators and heaters for Ukraine, which was probably the biggest number of diesel generators any country donated ever. And there was no public money used, because we were only crowdfunded. And we started also this famous initiative, which is the biggest initiative in Lithuania, called Radarom, which is a joint initiative of the main organizations supporting Ukraine, the Blue, Yellow, Freedom Television, and Strong Together, which I represent. And we already did the third initiative this year, and we fundraised 5.7 million euros last year. This year and the last year it was about 9, and in the very beginning of the war we've been fundraising for radars, for mobile radars, which we bought in Israel, and they're still on duty and very effective. So we fundraised more than 13 million euros. So if we would count it per capita, so the people of Lithuania, from the very beginning of war, they donated much more than 100 million euros. So we still are the nation which is less than 3 million. So I think it's impressive for population of less than 3 million to collect in different fundraisers more than 100 million euros. Yeah.
Why is so important for Lithuania? What do you think for your personal, but for Lithuania? Why is Lithuania so supportive?
Well, we still have very good collective memory. We remember what Russian soldiers' shoes can bring to the country. So every 10th Lithuanian has, just after the Second World War, every 10th Lithuanian was deported to Siberia or tortured in the prison in Lithuania. Every 10th. So we mean that every family has at least 1 or 2 members or relatives who've been sent to Siberia or tortured in Soviet prisons. So not going back to the history which goes through the ages, through 1,000 years history of Lithuanian state, we always had a biggest enemy who speaks Russian. So you shouldn't explain anyone in Lithuania what would happen if the Russians would invade again. So everyone understands that Ukraine is fighting for us. They're gaining us time to prepare better. So they gain us 3 years. And we are very, very, very thankful for them to keeping this Russian order for 3 years at the borders of Ukraine. Because if they would go through Ukraine, they would definitely come to Lithuania. In the very beginning of war, one of my friends who now is fighting in Ukraine, he's a Ukrainian historian, the professor of history in Ukraine. They find in Russian tanks maps of Lithuania in the very beginning of war, different types of maps, even the specific districts, regions of Lithuania. So they send it to us, and actually we've never been surprised, because everyone understands that if they would succeed there, they will come here.
And you are part of the riflemen's unions too.
Yeah.
So could you tell some words about that? Why is important for you, and why is important for Lithuanians to be a part of riflemen's union? It's more and more popular.
Yeah, actually, I'm a journalist myself, a journalist and television producer, and as a journalist, I shouldn't belong to any organizations just to keep my soul free out of any influence. And actually, that was the style of living I was living for all the time. But actually, when Russians secretly invaded into Crimea in 2014, it was some kind of shock for our society, because we realized that all this international law-based rules, as we've been living through some period of time till we from the regaining of independence in 1990, it doesn't exist anymore. We have to prepare ourselves that something similar could happen in Lithuania with some weird motivation of common history or whatever, Russian diaspora interests or anything that Putin might think of. So probably that was my main intention to join the Rifleman Union. I do think that my profession is very important even for a wartime, but as a citizen of the country, I have to have some basic skills to protect myself, or to act in some unit or in some group of servicemen. So that's probably the answer why so many people are joining Rifleman Union, Territorial Defense, or any other organization just to protect your own country. Because I mean, we are 3 million nations, so probably the only way to stand against Russian invasion is to fight the fight when everyone fights, because otherwise we don't have any chance. So it's better to be ready than scared.
Indeed, let's hope that we will have not fight, but let's be prepared if the situation would come.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are very thankful to Germany, which is making a historical move in the history of Germany and also in the history of Lithuania. Thank you.
Thank you.